We begin this Monday morning with a tightening race for the White House, which is now less than 100 days away. Recent polls show former President Trump and Vice President Harris approaching a dead heat in multiple battleground states. Those polls leading Trump to sharpen his attacks on Harris and the Democratic Party over the weekend. First, at the National Bitcoin Conference in Nashville, he dismissed Harris's recent surge in the polls as a honeymoon phase.
We have a country to run. The problem is that Kamala is worse than Joe. She's worse. She's a radical left lunatic.
Trump and his running mate J.D. Vance also held a rally in Minnesota, the one state where Harris has the biggest lead. But the Republican nominee spent a large part of his speech hurling attacks at President Biden. Meanwhile, Harris's campaign held a fundraiser in Massachusetts Saturday that earned more than $1 million, adding to her massive $200 million fundraising total just 1 week into the race. We have a team joining us this morning to break down all the latest in the race to the White House, including NBC News senior political reporter John Allen, along with NBC News senior White House correspondent Gabe Gutierrez. John and Gabe, good to be with you. Thanks for being here. John, I want to start with you. Minnesota is the one state where VP Harris is currently beating former President Trump, and it's a state that hasn't voted Republican in over 50 years. So why is he focusing his time and energy there? And we're still seeing attacks at Biden.
Yeah, the reason he's spending some time and energy there is that there has been Trump polling over the course of this campaign that shows him competitive there. And certainly in the last weeks of the Biden campaign, before we got a Harris campaign, the numbers there, according to independent pollsters, had closed significantly. So, number one, I think there was already a plan to go to Minnesota and make that a state that that was going to be sort of a battleground, expanding the battleground from where they had been, and he followed through on that plan. We'll have to see what happens with polling. I mean, we're still sort of early in this phase of a new campaign of Harris versus Trump, as opposed to Biden versus Trump.
Yeah, we'll have to watch the numbers closely. Gabe, what a difference a week makes. The Harris campaign seemed to have a successful turnout at its fundraising event this weekend, and it's prioritized trying to win Gen Z support. Walk us through what she had to say and what her main message is to those younger voters right now.
Oh, hey there, Emily. Good morning. Well, yes, it's no secret that President Biden had a difficult time with young voters, and Vice President Harris is really trying to lean into that. Now, over the past couple of days, she's taken more direct attacks on former President Trump and his running mate J.D. Vance, referring to them as weird, also really attacking those comments back from 2021 where J.D. Vance referred to some Democrats as, quote, childless cat ladies. But the vice president and her team are really leaning into social media, trying to win over those Gen Z voters. There's been a lot of memes, of course, the Kamala is brat phenomenon. They're really leaning into that, hoping it might convince some of these younger voters to go out to the polls. And as of now, over the last several days, her main message has been is that young voters deliver the 2020 election to Joe Biden, and she is trying to get that same type of enthusiasm this November, Emily.
Yeah, something tells me this is just the beginning of the memes. John, the polls almost immediately tightened after VP Harris entered the race. But interestingly, her policies are largely the same as Biden. So what's swaying voters' opinions? Why is it becoming a closer matchup between her and Trump versus Trump and Biden?
I mean, right off the bat, you have a candidate in Joe Biden who was struggling so much that he chose not to seek re-election, decided to step aside. Here's a guy who was running for president for basically his entire adult life, who, eventually realized that there was not a path to victory for him. And the reason was Democratic voters were not excited about him. Independent voters were worried about him. Republican voters thought that he should not be in office now, based on his apparent decline. So replace him with somebody who's got energy and enthusiasm, who is not stumbling in public appearances in the same way. And I think that's just in and of itself, a big reason for why you've seen the polls change so quickly. And I would just say the other thing is, Kamala Harris is somebody who Democrats are excited about. That they feel like they can, punch the ticket or pull the lever in the ballot box for her. So, again, we're still early. We haven't even hit Labor Day yet, but the Democratic Party kind of had a 180 on the energy behind its candidate.
And Gabe, let's go back to President Biden for a second. We know he's headed to Texas today. What can we expect out of that trip?
Well, this is a trip, Emily, that was rescheduled a couple of weeks ago following the assassination attempt on former President Trump. And President Biden is set to speak today to commemorate the 60th anniversary of the Civil Rights Act over at the LBJ Library in Texas. But just this morning, he has published an op-ed in the Washington Post, and we expect to hear more about this throughout the day, where he is proposing several Supreme Court reforms. It's been a message that the White House has been touting over the last several weeks. And among those reforms, including term limits for Supreme Court justices and also a binding code of ethics for the Supreme Court. Of course, this comes after the Supreme Court rendered that decision on presidential immunity several months ago. And the president has really focused in on this message. But, Emily, it's very unlikely at this point to pass the Republican-controlled House. But Democrats feel that this will be a winning message come November, Emily.
Now, John, before we let you go, perhaps the biggest question of the week, VP Harris has yet to announce a running mate. Do you believe at this point she is any closer to a decision? When do you think it could come? And who do you think some of the favorites are at this point?
Yeah, it's bad news for her that Simone Biles is too young to be vice president. But and actually, most of the Olympic athletes are too young to be vice president. Look, we've seen a whole group of governors and one senator in particular, Mark Kelly from Arizona, Governor Cooper, as he pronounces it, from North Carolina, Shapiro from Pennsylvania, Beshear from Kentucky. I don't have a crystal ball, and my sources have not told me who they think it will be, or at least nobody said that they know who it's going to be. So, we will find out here within the next several days.
Yeah, who doesn't love Simone Biles, right? John, Gabe, thank you so much for joining me this morning.
Thanks.
All right, this morning, world leaders are urging restraint as Israel decides how it will respond to a rocket strike that killed 12 young people in the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights. Israel blames Hezbollah for the attack and is vowing to respond, but the militant group has denied responsibility. The victims were from the Druze community, an Arab sect that practices an offshoot of Islam. Most live in Syria and Lebanon, but more than 20,000 also live in the occupied Golan Heights. NBC News international correspondent Kelly Kobiea joins us now. Kelly, last night Israel said it would decide on the, quote, manner and timing of its response, but we've already seen some attacks on Lebanon since Saturday, right? What's the latest there?
That's right. There was an Israeli drone strike outside the southern Lebanese town of Shakra just this morning. 2 people killed, 3 injured, according to the Lebanese civil defense. Saturday's rocket attack on that soccer field set off a series of retaliatory strikes throughout the weekend. The Israeli Defense Forces said they hit 7 targets deep inside Lebanese territory. Hezbollah said it hit Israeli military positions in northern Israel, quote, in response to the enemy's aggression. And all of this after that devastating strike on the soccer field Saturday evening in the Israeli-occupied Golan Heights. There's a bomb shelter just a few yards from the soccer field, but residents said there was just no time to reach it. They say the sirens sounded just moments before the blast. Now, Israel says at least a dozen children and teenagers were killed in that blast. They blamed Hezbollah for it, claiming that rocket fragments on site are from a type only used by Hezbollah. But Hezbollah says it was firing rockets at Israel Saturday, but has denied involvement in that strike. Emily.
Yeah, the domino effect well underway. Talk to us about the diplomatic efforts we've seen from the U.S. and other countries to try and stop the conflict from broadening to Lebanon.
Yeah, many world leaders urging calm right now. Secretary of State Blinken among them in Tokyo, saying there was every indication that the rockets that hit the soccer field were from Hezbollah. He also said he was deeply saddened by the loss of life, but again, urging restraint. Take a listen.
We're in conversations with the government of Israel. And again, I emphasize its right to defend its citizens and our determination to make sure that they're able to do that. But we also don't want to see the conflict escalate. We don't want to see it spread.
And that is a real risk. Again, it's been a risk all along, ever since those attacks on October 7th. Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli prime minister, is vowing to strike back using very firm language. He said that Hezbollah would pay a heavy price, heavier than they've paid before. He met with his political security cabinet on Sunday, rushing back from Washington, D.C., leaving the U.S. a few hours early, in fact, to get back to Israel and meet with top security officials. That risk of escalation is a real worry for people around the world, for leaders in the U.S. as well. Of course, it's rising today, with the IDF even warning over the weekend that they are in the brink of an all-out war against Hezbollah. This is the kind of thing that leaders in the U.S. and elsewhere have been worried about throughout, and the kind of thing, once again, that they're trying desperately to prevent this morning. Emily.
And Kelly, it was also a deadly weekend in Gaza. Our NBC News teams inside the enclave captured the aftermath of a devastating Israeli airstrike on a school. What are you learning about that?
Yes, this war obviously continues. An Israeli airstrike hit a girls' school in central Gaza. It was being used as a shelter by displaced people. The aftermath caught on camera by our NBC News team, and you saw just these very sad images of parents looking for their children, distraught children, a lot of debris, a lot of very disturbing images. At least 30 people were killed, according to Gaza health officials. Now, Israel, for its part, says that they were targeting a Hamas command and control center used to store weapons and plan attacks. Emily.
Kelly, thanks so much for all those details. This morning, firefighters in Northern California are trying to get a handle on one of the largest wildfires in the state's history. The fast-moving fire has already charred more than 360,000 acres, destroyed dozens of structures, and is so big you can see it from space. NBC News correspondent Steve Patterson is in Chico, California, with the latest.
Yeah, you have to remember that this started just as a small brush fire a few days ago. We watched it grow from 60,000 acres to 160,000 acres, now to more than 360,000 acres, the 7th largest wildfire in California history, the largest active fire that is currently burning. It's destroyed dozens of homes and structures, up to 66 now, displaced thousands of people, including people that had to be evacuated years ago for that deadliest and most destructive wildfire in California history. The Camp Fire. This fire also now being investigated as an arson. There's a 42-year-old man now in police custody. All of this while this fire continues its rapid expanse, really growing so big, so fast on all fronts that the primary operation right now is just to slow it down. Thankfully, the weather is cooperating. It's been a lot cooler than it had been the past few days, allowing firefighters to get some containment on it. We're now up to 12%. But the big fear here is that the largest fire currently burning will only get larger. There is fresh, bone-dry fuel in all directions for this fire to burn, and the worry is that this could last for months. Back to you.
Steve, thanks so much. We'll be watching those weather conditions in the days to come. In Paris this morning, we're now entering day 3 of Olympic events after a thrilling opening weekend with the world's best athletes on display. The Summer Games have delivered on all of the excitement through the first days of competition. We've already witnessed jaw-dropping moments of drama, photo finishes, and plenty of smiles on top of the podium. It's been a bright start for Team USA, who currently leads the medal count among all nations, and with superstars like Simone Biles and Coco Gauff owning the spotlight with impressive performances, there's a lot to look forward to as we get ready for another full day of events. NBC News correspondent Jay Gray joins us live from Paris with all the headlines from a busy weekend at the Olympics. What an incredible gig, Jay. I've been watching the Olympics all weekend. Team USA wasted no time picking up their first medals of this year's Summer Games. Walk us through the excitement so far and what the top moments have been. I know it'll be hard to choose.
Yeah. Emily, yeah, it's been amazing, the fast start that Team USA has gotten off to here. It's great for the team, everyone watching, everyone here who had the chance to make a trip. The Americans so excited. They're winning in the water, as we expected, in the pool. They've won in the mountains, mountain biking. And maybe you can tell this, something I had in my closet, I threw it on this morning. But they're also winning in a place we don't always expect. Look. they are winning in fencing. Team USA fencing taking a stab at history last night, and boy, was it a strong win. Lee Kiefer with the gold, Lauren Scruggs with the silver. 1-2 for America in that event, and that's been one of the most exciting things to see here. Look, it's the first time ever an American woman in foil has gone back-to-back gold, and the first time we ever had an All-American final in that event, so that has been great to see. One of those events that you don't think a lot about, that you don't hear a lot from the Americans about, and also I can tell you from talking to the folks here in France, one they are really proud of. They feel like they should be the strongest when it comes to foil and fencing, and they're impressed with the wins by Team USA, so that's been neat to see as well. But by far the pool has been the place where the Americans have found the most as far as gold, silver, and bronze is concerned, Emily. And 5 more chances tonight, by the way.
Jay, your commitment to the assignment, the puns, it's unmatched. This is incredible. I am obsessed with this uniform you're wearing. We also saw several
I apologize.
Of Team USA's biggest stars deliver in their early events so far. That includes the return of Simone Biles to the world's biggest stage. What were the highlights, and what's next for those athletes?
Oh, my goodness. I mean, look, that was amazing to see yesterday. The American women's team on top as far as qualifying is in the team competition. And then Simone Biles yesterday. I mean, she leads all individuals in points right now in the team competition, moving to the medal round tomorrow. And she yesterday went through the routine that in Tokyo she realized she had the twisties. She nailed it. It was beautiful to see, and her smile beaming afterwards, unbelievable. You could tell this was something she was thinking about, something that was at least in the back of her mind, and she pushed through, and it was so cool to see.
And Jay, there are several more swimming medals up for grabs later today. I know that is one of the highly watched events. What are the biggest events scheduled, and what will you be watching and looking out for on day 3?
Yeah, and let me get to that. I've got to put on my reading glasses to make sure I get everything right here. The women's 400 IM. Katie Grimes is just a beast in that. So look for Katie Grimes in the women's 400 IM today. You've got the men's 200 free. You've got the men's 100 back. And team captain Ryan Murray in that. He is a multiple-time Olympian and medal winner. He is going to be strong there. The women's breaststroke, Lily King. She is someone who should medal in this event. That should be a lot of fun and something that Team USA is strong at. And then you got the women's 200 free. So a lot of chances in the mix in the pool again right now. That's going to be a place where we continue to watch and continue to see the Americans going on great strides. The weather here in Paris has been phenomenal, unless, Emily, you're wearing a suit from USA Fencing. It's about 206 degrees.
Jay, I think what you're telling me is that I'll see you in LA 2028, right? We'll see you competing out there.
You know, I'm an alternate right now, so maybe. You never know.
Fingers crossed. We're rooting for you, Jay Gray. Thank you so much from Paris. Oh, my gosh, I even got his name. That's awesome. All right, well, there is a new energy at this year's Olympics. Now that the COVID restrictions are a thing of the past, friends and family of athletes are making a roaring return to the Games. Here's my touching conversation with one Olympic family. In Paris, the streets are packed and so are the stands. This Olympics already looks and sounds drastically different from the last one, when athletes competed in eerily quiet venues in Tokyo because of COVID. Coaches stepped in as cheerleaders, while friends and family celebrated thousands of miles away, relishing in victories over emotional video calls. In 2021, Amy and Mike Parado watched from home as their daughter Jessica won a silver in synchronized diving.
We were sitting on the couch watching it at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I don't remember much about, other than being overwhelmingly emotional that happened.
This was the moment they held her medal for the first time when she brought it to Minnesota.
That's a lot of work.
Pretty amazing, huh?
To me, it's like their medal as well. So it's just every single person, especially my family, who have been there with me from the very beginning, that I just attribute that success to them.
We see her as our daughter, you know, playing around, running around as a kid, having fun, flipping off our couch and ruining our living room. To go to the Olympics is just incredible.
Now 30, Jessica will hurdle, pike, and somersault into her third Olympic Games. And this time, her #1 fans
headed to Paris. Let's go.
And so many other families will get to watch their favorite athletes go for gold from the stands. Will it be emotional for you?
Oh, it's always emotional. I just want to see them have fun and do their best. And if they get a medal, great.
If this is the end, if this is her last go-around, I don't want to miss 1 second of what she's doing.
And you get to see it in person.
Yes.
Yes.
Making memories for the athletes and their families. Jessica Parado and her partner Delaney Schnell are set to compete on Wednesday. You can bet I'll be watching on NBC and Peacock. All right, let's get to your morning news now. Weather. Millions across the plains are under alerts. Plus, we're tracking air quality concerns for parts of the country as those flames we mentioned earlier continue to scorch the west. Meteorologist Michelle Grossman joins us now. Hey there, Michelle.
Emily, so good to see you. And yeah, we have a lot to talk about today because we are looking at temperatures in the plains well above normal for this time of year, into the upper 90s, the 100s. You factor in the humidity, it will feel like 110 plus. So that's a big story in the middle of the country. And then, of course, out west, we're continuing to watch that fire threat. We have really hazy skies, and that smoke is moving off to the east, so impacting portions of the northern plains and also the Midwest. And then look what's happening in most of the east. We have the chance for showers and storms. Most of these are not all-day storms and showers, but still we're going to be very unsettled all week long. We do need the rain, though, in some spots. We're going to see heavy rain in portions of the Appalachians. Could see some strong storms in parts of Illinois, Indiana, also Kentucky, and then also in parts of the northern plains and also northern Nebraska. Let's start with the fire danger because we do have red flag warnings once again, where you see this red shading. So Glasgow, Idaho, Casper, Cedar City, down to Bakersfield. We're really dry once again. We have lots of fires burning that is impacting the air quality. And this wind is carrying this smoke all the way to the plains and also the Midwest. There was reports also of some in New England as well. We remember that from last year. And we're looking at air quality alerts where you see this orange shading. That's where we have some poor air quality. What does that mean? Well, if you are sensitive, you want to stay indoors. And really, if you're not sensitive, you want to keep those windows closed, keep the doors closed, stay in air conditioning if you can, and kind of avoid that outdoor air as much as you can. Now, as far as the heat alerts go, we have 28 million people impacted. And this is building heat as we go through the next couple of days. We have heat warnings, we have heat watches, heat advisories, all sorts of colors on there, indicating that we are heating up over the next few days. Omaha, St. Louis, Wichita, Oklahoma City, Memphis, Dallas, down to Jackson. You will be heating up again into the triple digits in many spots, if not the upper 90s. Rapid City 97, that's 10 degrees above normal for this time of year. Lubbock 99, El Paso 102, 8 degrees above what is typical for this time of year. And then watch what happens tomorrow. We're still warm and we're expanding that heat. Phoenix 107, Roswell 105, so many triple digits, 104 as we're looking places in Wichita, 98 degrees in St. Louis, Milwaukee 86, and Sioux Falls temperatures in the 90s as well. We're going to keep it warm as we head throughout most of the rest of the week. Amarillo into the triple digits all week long. Dallas, sort of the same story. Minus will be at 100 degrees on Wednesday. You're going to top out probably around 99, but still in the triple digits Thursday and Friday. And that warm weather is going to prompt some severe storms along with a front that's moving through. So places in the Dakotas, also northern Nebraska, could see some strong storms, as well as parts of Kentucky, Indiana, into Illinois as well. Where you see that yellow shading, that's where we're looking at the chance for those storms. Could see winds gusting up to 60 miles per hour, large hail, 2 inches or greater, also the chance of a few isolated tornadoes. We're going to keep that threat, unfortunately, in place tomorrow in portions of the Midwest and also parts of the Ohio Valley once again. Des Moines, Davenport, Springfield could see some strong storms tomorrow. This is what radar looks like right now. We have some strong storms moving through portions of the Midwest. You see that lightning there, also some heavy rain. Those are the darker colors there. And we're looking at a whole lot of rain in some spots. Excessive rainfall is possible in parts of Kentucky, especially where you see those darker colors, the reds, the oranges, the yellows once again. And that includes parts of the Ohio Valley as well. Could locally see up to 3 inches through Tuesday, but a lot of the east could see some light rain. So you need to keep that umbrella handy as we head throughout the next couple of days. We're not going to have those heavy downpours that we need to kind of hydrate that grass, but still we'll see unsettled weather throughout the next couple of days. And this is why we have a front that's moving through slowly as these fronts continue to do this summer. That's going to keep us a little unsettled. At least most of the east will be unsettled.
All right, Michelle, thank you so much. It always amazes me how much you see those wildfires, the smoke, impacts coast to coast.
It is crazy. And don't you remember that last summer, like you walked outside, it's like,
oh, absolutely.
That smell, right? You think it was
the
like
smell,
the neighbors.
and then it can get really intense, like the orange hues.
Yeah.
So we'll
I
have to
know,
watch
it's
that
eerie.
closely. Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.